presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
Secrets as to why this Twins team has done so well on the road. They're playing much better baseball away from Target Field than they are at Target Field. And a road winning percentage that's been outstanding. And one of the reasons it's so good, this guy, Ervin Santana, has been very, very good away from Target Field with a 0.45 ERA away from Target Field. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by State Farm. And the Twins and Orioles getting set to play Game 2 of their 3-game series. And we welcome you to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Dick Bremer along with Jack Morris. Central to the Twins' rebuilding theme is giving young players an opportunity in the hopes that they'll get better over time. We're seeing that now in 2017. We're seeing it from Miguel Sano. We're seeing snapshots of it from Byron Buxton. And we're really seeing it with Max Kepler.
Yeah, Max Kepler's got one of those unique swings, and I equate it to my old teammate John Olerud, but he does so many things well and creates an opportunity to put the ball in play hard. Max always has been a guy that's got tremendous balance. You don't see him flying open. He's always keeping his shoulder in, and then Roy Smalley and Tim Laudner always talk about how he gets his hands through the baseball. But it all said and done, Max is hitting the ball extremely well. You can see his numbers over the last 8 games.
The teams that make it to the playoffs are teams that have a clear-cut number 1 starting pitcher, and in May that is true as well. The teams that are in first place have a number 1, and Ervin Santana is the Twins' number 1.
Certainly has been number 1. You know, he's had a couple of bumps in the road, 2 of the last 3 outings, but he's been able to give them depth. 7 innings his last time out, even though he gave up what you see there, 6 hits and 5 earned runs. I just expect Ervin to come out and dominate tonight. I just feel that he's been so good on the road, and the pressure's not on him anymore with Barrios doing what he's done, Mejia picking up the Twins, and even last night the guys picking up Kyle Gibson. So I expect Ervin to go out and do what Ervin does, and that's going to be a good night.
The Twins are climbing the ladder in the American League in terms of runs per game, and a big part of that, of course, the big fly. Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, and others hope to hit a few tonight in Baltimore.
When Santana hit the ball out of the park, it sounds really loud.
Oh my God.
Thunderous.
Like a rock and roll guitar.
Oof.
Because it's very loud, like, vroom.
How do I describe his power? He's stupid strong.
Crazy at all.
You can tell by the swing they make contact that right away is a homer.
On the field, he's a monster and probably one of the strongest hitters I've seen so far.
And our cold hard facts tonight brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light, and we didn't round it up. He's averaged 100 miles per hour off the bat. We're talking about the ground balls, the pop-ups, the home runs, the singles, the doubles, averaging 100, and that's a pretty big gap when you're talking about all the other hitters in the game. That's a pretty big gap to number 2. A cloudy night. We might have some sprinkles throughout the evening, but we certainly hope that we'll have uninterrupted baseball. Audra Martin, Jack Morris, and Dick Bramer here. The Twins in first place by a game, and they had kind of a flat homestand again, going 3-3, but for whatever reason they played their best baseball on the road. Here's the Menards batting order for game 2. Brian Dozier leading off, then Robbie Grossman, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, Kenny Vargas, Jorge Polanco, Jason Castro, and Byron Buxton.
And the Twins will have their first look at the right-hander, Dylan Bundy. He's making his 10th start of the year. 5-2, really good ERA. He's pitched extremely well in his first go-around as a starter.
Former #1 draft pick, and he's had so many arm issues, including the Tommy John surgery, and he was out of options last year, was on the Orioles team and got a little bit stronger as the season wore along, ended up pitching more than 100 innings, and they're counting on him more heavily this year.
Yeah, I don't know what would happen without Tommy John. He's embedded in almost everybody nowadays.
1 strike to Dozier, and a little issue up the middle of the field. I think Stu Surewater was in Brian Dozier's line of sight, so he asked the second base umpire, "Please, sir, would you move?" Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Orioles have a pull shift on for Dozier right out of the chute. And there's Stu Surewater, the second base ump. Greg Gibson calling balls and strikes. Dozier had a really good at bat to start the ball game, and it was kind of an omen for things to come. And he's gone on 3 pitches here tonight. 1 down. That'll bring up Grossman. Northland Ford defense for the Orioles. Trey Mancini is in left. Adam Jones in center. Seth Smith is in right. An infield with Machado, Hardy, Scope, and Davis. And again, Wellington Castillo behind the plate. And in stands Robbie Grossman. Like so many hitters last night, he had a good day at the plate. And Grossman now among the league leaders. He's 3rd in the league behind Mike Trout and Miguel Sano. 3rd in the league in on base percentage at .417, which is outstanding.
One of the reasons that he's in the lineup again tonight, Eddie Rosario taking his 2nd night in a row off in left field. But Paul Molitor is riding his hot gun right now, and that's Robbie Grossman.
2-0 to Grossman. Sharply hit. Nice catch on one hop. Scope comes up firing, makes a great play for the out. Grossman smoked a one hopper, and Scope picked it off.
Well, those are the kind of plays that really can help the pitcher early in the ball game. Scope committed an error last night, but this one going to his left, putting the glove down and getting it on the baseball, and then having enough time to get Robbie, who was hustling down that first baseline.
So a good play for out number 2, and that'll bring up Joe Mauer. Mauer enjoying a wonderful month of May where he's hitting .345. 3 hits last night, and the average, the season average, up to .274.
And we're probably going to discuss this a little during the game, but we had a good little talk about it this morning, and Joe Mauer hitting in front of Miguel Sano in the 3 spot instead of the other way around, and I think we're seeing more production from both guys because of that. And certainly with Sano behind Mauer, Mauer's going to get better pitches to hit, and he's taking advantage of that. 2-0
to Mauer. And Now 3-0 with Sano on deck. Now Joe will probably take it, but case in point, the last thing Bundy wants to do is walk Mauer to put a free pass on the bases before Miguel Sano. And there's a strike down the middle.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I just said what I said, and why Paul Molitor has now got Joe Mauer hitting in front of Miguel Sano. Sano is so red hot that they're going to have to pitch. It forces the hand of the pitcher. They have to pitch to Mauer.
Fouled away, 3-2.
Joe with a pair of regular base hits last night, and then he laid down another bunting base hit, just perfectly executed. He's done that twice now in the last week, catching both Manny Machado and the pitcher last night off guard, Ubaldo Jimenez.
And Mauer swings and misses in the off-speed pitch, and Bundy has a 1-2-3 first. Irvin Santana takes the mound for the Twins, second in the league in earned run average. Three times Buck Showalter's won the Manager of the Year award, and today he's celebrating his 61st birthday.
Man, that's getting old.
The Menards batting order for the Orioles: Seth Smith leading off, Adam Jones batting second, then Manny Machado, Mark Trumbo, Chris Davis, Wellington Castillo, Trey Mancini, Jonathan Scope, and J.J. Hardy.
They'll be facing right-hander Irvin Santana. He's pitched extremely well on the road. He's had a couple bumps in the road last 4 and 5 lifetime against the Orioles, but most importantly, #1 in all of baseball in opponents' average against. They're hitting only a .144 off him.
Down low, ball 1. And so far in the month of May, Santana's alternated a really good start with one not so good, and this is his 5th start, and he's due for a good one. 1-0 to Seth Smith. Busted bat. And he'll carry out to Santana, or to Buxton rather, for the catch. 1 down. Santana was the opening day starter for the Twins a year ago here. We'll tell you about that after we look at the Twins out in the field. Robbie Grossman, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler in the outfield, Sano, Polanco, Dozier, Mauer in the infield, and Jason Castro back behind the plate.
Only change in the lineup is Kenneth Vargas is DHing today instead of Eduardo Escobar.
Santana was the opening day starter. We had some weather issues, threatening skies. The Orioles tried to play the game. We got 2 innings in. Both teams lost their starting pitchers, and the Twins lost a close ball game. And then, of course, went on to lose the next 8 as well. Bouncing to short, easy play for Polanco, and a couple of very quick outs. 2 down in the first. Let's find Audra Martin.
Well, guys, it's time for our Car Soup Scoop from the clubhouse. Paul Molitor said a win like last night can certainly propel a team going forward, but he also said don't forget how unpredictable this game can be. With that said, he does know this team very well. He said he'd be surprised if they don't come out and play a very good game. And the rally last night, the momentum kept going because of a really nice bunt from Joe Mauer. He says that's something we don't do enough, and hopefully the guys saw that and they'll start taking more opportunities when they present themselves. He also said Jorge Polanco is flying under the radar when it comes to the value he brings to this team. He's not quite at Joe Mauer status when it comes to the at-bats that he's taking, but he says he's been impressed with those at-bats and more than happy with the start he's off to this season.
Thank you.
And I think Audra would, or Paul Molitor would say happy both in the field and at the plate.
Well, I totally agree with what Paul's saying, and Audra just said that Polanco, you know, you got guys like Kepler and Sano, and of course Joe Mauer, and the attention, Buxton, those kind of guys are getting a lot of attention. Polanco quietly going about his business.
He played a tough hop there, made a nice play on it. That ball came up on him at the end, and a very quick 1-2-3 first for Urban Santana. About exit velocity, the line drive you just saw left home plate at 110 miles per hour and went right by the ear of Ubaldo Jimenez.
You know, this is a new stat for baseball, and it's an intriguing one. I wish we had that back in my day. Guys like Al Oliver and Dave Winfield, and you know, I really do, to compare it. You know, to compare eras. Right. It's hard, really, for any of us to know where Miguel Sano fits into that overall in the scheme of baseball.
Waited on the off-speed pitch and spun a foul over the screen. 1 strike.
What we do know is that last night he really hit the ball hard, Dick, and he's been doing that all year.
Oh,
best in baseball.
1 strike to Sano. Hitting .397 on the road. And almost to a man, everybody doing better away from target field than at target field. And logic would tell you that will even out. High fly, right center field. Jones over, Smith over, and it's Jones with the catch, 1 away. With 1 away, let's get tonight's showstopper from Audra Martley.
No surprise, guys, it's Zach Greinke pitching another gem for the Diamondbacks last night against the White Sox. 8 2/3 innings of work, giving up just 4 hits and fanning a season-high 12 batters. That's 4 straight wins for Greinke. Batters simply just having a heck of a time against him. They're hitting just .152 against him in those 4 wins. Very impressive.
Max Kepler, the batter. You saw the line for Greinke last night. Let me ask you this, Jack Morris. Were you ever taken out of a ball game after 8 2/3 innings?
If I was, I would still want another swing.
That was the source of some controversy. Torey Lovullo took Greinke out, 1 out away from a complete game. And I thought of you. I thought of Bert. I couldn't imagine that ever happening.
Well, it's a different time. We have to admit that it's totally a different time in the game. You know, we were taught and conditioned to complete what we started, and that was the goal, so that the 3, 4, 5, maybe sometimes number 6 starters would have a little help from the bullpen. The number 1s and 2s needed to get out there and finish what they started.
It was a 5-1 ball game. Here's Kepler, and the count, 2 strikes. Roller to second. Scope is there. And 2 quick outs here in the second.
Well, the pace of this ball game a little different than what we saw last night. Both pitchers attacking the strike zone. Guys taking swings early. They're getting good results with balls in play. And defense have done their job so far.
Here's Kenny Vargas, tonight's designated hitter. Twins pounded out 21 hits last night, and their team batting average, not the individuals, although some saw their averages spike up, of course. The team batting average went from 244 to 251.
That's not easy to do in one day, especially when you're well into the season. You know, maybe on opening day or the first week, but we're approaching June already.
Way out in front. It's 0-2 to Vargas.
Good off-speed pitch right there from Bundy. Vargas just could not wait, and he was way out in front of that pitch.
Bundy's been really good. 9 prior starts, 8 of them quality starts. The exception is most recent start at Comerica Park. The Orioles, or excuse me, the Tigers hit a couple of home runs and scored 6 runs against him in 6 innings. 2 strikes. Missing inside, 1-2.
Well, there's a pitcher's best friend. When an umpire starts giving you this pitch, and we'll take a look at it, clearly off the plate.
Vargas dumps one down the left field line. A base hit rolling away from Mancini, and Vargas is going to dig for second, and the throw is not in time.
Look at the big man. Hey, that's fun to watch. Now that bat died a hero. Broken bat over Machado's head. But how about Kenny Vargas? Thinking 2 all along. You're not getting to second base unless you're thinking it as you're running down first base. See a breaking ball that stays up in the zone, kind of jams Kenny Vargas, and he just ran out of that box like number 2 was in his thought process. Never hesitated as he goes around the bag. I don't know if I was telling you or somebody else today, but every day that I'm around Kenny Vargas, I swear he grows an inch, and I know he's going to be 7 foot pretty soon.
Down and in, ball 1 to Jorge Polanco. Got 4 hits in the ball game last night. And the count's 1-0. Twins have 1 2-out hit, looking for another to maybe get the first run of the game.
I know we're only in the 2nd inning, but it seems already like runs are going to be pretty valuable in this game tonight, and opportunity number 1 for the Twins with Vargas at second, Polanco at the plate, maybe produce a run, give Irvin a little bit of breathing room and a lead to work with.
1-1 to Polanco. He's driven in 18 this year, and he scored 14. Just off the plate, 2-1.
One of the things Paul Molitor has talked about in reference to Jorge Polanco is that he has no fear or understanding of who's on the mound. It doesn't matter if it's a former Cy Young Award winner or a rookie that he's never faced. He goes up there and he looks like a veteran that's been in the big leagues for 10 years, and that's a compliment of itself because of his baseball instincts. He's talked about that too, and you know, he just has no fear at the plate.
And he showed that early on. I mean, the Twins called him up from Class A ball to fill in for a couple of games, and he just didn't look overwhelmed the least bit. 3-1 to Polanco. And now Polanco takes a walk, and there are 2 aboard for Castro.
Well, again, Bundy going away with the fastball there, and the ball ran a little bit too much. Good at bat for Jorge. See, he starts him out down, then up in the zone, then away, then in, and the last one tailing out of the zone again.
Castro's batting average keeps bobbing to the surface at 200 and then dipping back below and then a couple of points above.
Well, Jason got a little bit handcuffed on a ball that was thrown to him yesterday, and you kind of wonder if there was anything going on with his wrist.
Castillo got crossed up here. Look at this.
Wellington Castillo's going to go out there. Look at where he's at. He's thinking it's a changeup and it's a breaking ball. You could see how his glove was going towards the pitcher like he was expecting a changeup, and then the ball just disappears down and in. So that's one thing catchers and pitchers need to do right away, is get on the same page. You don't want to be crossing up your catcher.
You changed signs though after the first base was filled. I mean, they had the whole Polanco at bat. To
more than likely one of the two of them forgot about the runner at second. They have a set of signs that's going to be different when you got a runner at second, and I don't know which one it was, but one of them got crossed up.
Castro slices it foul. The only thing that changed from the Polanco at bat is the fact that Polanco is at first, but you wouldn't change signs just because there's somebody at first.
Never. It's only the guy at second base. Like I say, it was either Bundy or Castillo that forgot about the guy at second base and went back to the original sign process that they had with nobody on base.
1-1 to the Twins catcher. And that one floats over for a strike. 1-2.
You notice that you're seeing more and more of it from the catchers as we watch this last pitch, a breaking ball that just catches the upper quadrant of the strike zone. But Wellington Castillo has got painted fingernails on his right hand, his throwing hand, and that's so that the pitcher can pick up the signs. And you don't really worry about that, but you don't want to see painted fingernails on his glove hand.
Castro snaps his bat, backhanded by Davis, flipping to Bundy, and the inning ends. Twins get a double and a walk after the second out, but Bundy pitches a scoreless second. Baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities, and by State Farm. Combine home and auto and see how much money you can save. A light rain falling here in Baltimore. We don't expect anything of any magnitude, and we expect the rain that is falling to stop sometime in the next hour or so. Maybe we're just hoping that. whether we have any business to expect that.
We're going to stay dry in here.
Yes, that is true. Mark Trumbo will lead off the second, then Chris Davis and Wellington Castillo. As you see, Santana got through the first inning on just 6 pitches. And Trumbo takes ball 1. Castro thought that might have been a strike.
Now, Trumbo, the one guy in the lineup that has pretty good numbers, via a small sample size, 3 for 5, hitting .600 off Irvin. And really, if you look up and down the numbers that I'm looking at, only a few guys, Adam Jones and Chris Davis and Seth Smith, have had 20 at-bats or more off Irvin. So a lot of the lineup is kind of new to seeing Irvin Santana.
2-0 now to Trumbo. Popped up, foul, out of play. 2-1. Santana's earned run average second in the league to the idled Dallas Keuchel. He's got a neck issue.
Yeah, I believe Keuchel has 7 wins though, doesn't he? So this should tie him, and maybe in the next start have a chance to pass him in the wins leader department.
Now 3-1. Santana's walk numbers have escalated in the month of May. 15 walks in 26 innings. One of the issues he's had. He was so stingy with that and hits in April. Fouled away again, 3-2.
You know, and I know for a young kid, walks are always a concern by managers and pitching coaches, but not so much from a veteran. And it's who you're walking in what situations that makes the biggest difference, and how you react to that walk. Nothing wrong with putting a guy on that has good numbers off you if you can get the next guy out.
Up and in, and a swinging strikeout, 1 down. Speaking of Dallas Keuchel, he's playing for a very good baseball team, Audra Martin.
Yeah, the Houston Astros are our big story, guys. It was a big win last night. The first team to reach 30 wins this season. 4 different pitchers combined for the one-hitter against the Tigers. And they only needed this little bit of offense. Jose Altuve at the bottom of the first with the RBI double. And, of course, you can't win games without defense as well. They got that with a nice catch from George Springer. They certainly have the rest of the league on high alert, guys.
Well, we haven't seen Houston yet. Thank you, Audra. We will in the next homestand. In fact, a week from now, the Astros will be making their Target Field appearance for 3 games after the Rays play this weekend. 1 strike to Chris Davis.
And don't think for a second that players aren't aware of who's playing well. And I promise you, young players especially, maybe not that much different than a veteran team, but they look forward to playing the teams that are good. They want to see how they match up.
Point we were trying to make last night. Yeah, we're excited to watch the Twins and how well they're doing, but we've also, I think, in the process, exposed other teams to the fact that, you know, they've got flaws. We haven't seen Houston. They look like the closest thing to an ideal team right now. But, you know, the Indians have some issues, some serious issues, offensively and with the starting pitching.
Everybody in the Central Division, American League Central, has some concerns, and that's why we're optimistic that the Twins, if they can just keep plugging along and have a little bit of pitching, they're gonna be in the hunt.
Up and in. Now 3-2 to Chris Davis.
I saw Irvin today, and I asked him, I said, what is it about you and the weather?
Swing and a miss. And Santana fills the count to the muscle in this Baltimore lineup, and he strikes out both Trumbo and Davis. Sanford Health Injury Report dealing with Dallas Keuchel, 10-day disabled list. He's eligible to come off on Saturday. Haven't heard yet whether the Astros are going to bring him back or whether he'll be able to pitch perhaps in the Minnesota series.
You ever have a pinched nerve in your neck?
Yes.
You feel like Frankenstein, right? I mean, you can't do anything. You can't move your body. I mean, it's awful. So, you know, it's one of those things. There's no way you can pitch with it.
Down low to Wellington Castillo. One thing that's different from when you woke up with a stiff neck now teams have chiropractors, massage therapists, and if it can be wiped out in 10 days, it'll be wiped out in 10 days.
Yeah, we had a hot water bottle and something cold to drink.
And if you wanted to really have good workout, a medicine ball, right?
Oh boy.
1-1.
I can't incriminate my old trainers, but if you could have heard some of the conversations back then, you would say, no way, that couldn't have happened.
2-1 to the Baltimore catcher.
Meanwhile, Irvin has not had a ball hit hard against him. He's just cruising along.
And strike called, 2-2.
It seems like he's already gotten into a pretty good rhythm out there. Now with 2 strikes, and this is the difference in baseball. They're moving Byron Buxton a little to his left and straightaway center.
No, 3-2. Talking with Jeff Pickler, who coaches the outfielders and positions them, and he said that was the key factor in the Mancini drive that Buxton almost caught. He said it came with 2 strikes, and they had just moved Byron over a step because there were 2 strikes.
Yeah.
And he said that was the difference between him making the catch of the year or not. This one line to left, a solid base hit.
Yeah, there's the first hit off of Irvin. The local crowd reacts. Well hit ball to left.
And that'll bring Mancini up.
You know, here's another guy, the Orioles, relatively new catcher for the Orioles, came into today's game hitting .330, gets the ball up in the zone and puts a nice swing on.
Like the same pitch that he struck Trumbo on, a fastball up and in. And now Mancini, very solid Rookie of the Year candidate on May 23rd, hitting over 300, 7 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Way out in front of the off-speed pitch.
That's one thing about Irvin Santana. He's really got a feel. And when he's working with Jason Castro, a veteran catcher that understands how you set up hitters, you know, they've just got a good balance of changing up everything.
Popped up and hit up into the rain, and it is Sano calling for it. And he makes the catch to end the inning. A couple of efficient innings for Irvin Santana, a couple of scoreless innings, and we head to the 3rd. Baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. No score going to the 3rd. Byron Buxton's about to drop down on a bunt attempt here, leading off the 3rd inning. As I said, pitch foul back.
What an attempt that was.
Yeah, tried to squeeze it in there. Just figured leading off an inning. Machado's as good as they come at third base.
Machado's playing, anticipating that bunt attempt, so maybe with 2 strikes, huh?
Inside 1-1. I just saw you get a ball rolling around in this wet grass, even make it even a tough play for even Machado.
It would be, but I think he would want to go to the right side, try to get it past Bundy, and make Chris Davis go to his right.
Up and away, 2-1.
I'm guessing that you look at Dylan Bundy and you look at Byron Buxton. I'm guessing even if he gives him a 10-foot head start, which he has from where he's at right now, Buxton beat him to the bag.
Down and in, 3-1. Dozier on deck. Bundy walked Polanco in the second. And Buxton takes a 5-pitch walk. 8 straight quality starts, and then the Tigers touched him for 6 runs in his last start.
Well, he's been good. 5-2 for the Orioles this year with a very respectable ERA. A lot of quality starts. Had a great start against Kansas City back on the 12th of May, and threw 112 pitches in that game. That's his personal high. Struck out 8. So Buck Showalter already letting him go deep into games when he's pitching well.
Buxton bluffs, and Dozier tries to bunt. Castillo comes back and makes a catch. Trying to bunt on the first pitch, and Dozier popped it up in a quick first out here in the third. Good play by Wellington Castillo.
Very good play, and you know, the older I get, the more I appreciate catchers. You know how they react. These guys are squatting all the time. Their legs have got to be so strong, and to just react, jump, and get out of the crouch position to react to a ball like that. Outstanding play, and not a bad idea for Brian Dozier there. He knows that Bucks can run, so if he gets the ball down at all, and you talked about maybe the infield grass getting a little wet, you never know what could happen.
Still raining pretty good here, and now Grossman with a ball hard his first time up, taking strike 1. You know, you look at the on-base percentages in the first 5 spots for the Twins, and you can see one of the reasons why this team is climbing the charts offensively. We mentioned Grossman third in the league behind Trout and Sano at 417, but Dozier at 341, and that should get better as Brian's batting average climbs as it did last year. Perennially, Joe Mauer's right around 400 with his on-base percentage. That is climbing. It's at 347 now, and then you got Sano 439. Kepler is just off the top 10 charts in the league at 364.
You know, it's one of the reasons Robbie Grossman's in the lineup again tonight is he's been so good in his at bats.
Buxton streaks towards second base.
Perfect throw. Oh,
safe and in and out. He came off the bag, and it looked like he was ready to be called safe by Stu Surewater, but then he overslid the bag.
Yeah, and Byron didn't argue. He didn't stay there, so you know that he knows he was off the bag when the tag was played. See, he goes by, and his hand never gets back. He gets his foot. That's not fair, man. You got something there. It's solid. Your eyes are shut. You're reaching for it. You think you're on the bag. It's this guy's shoe.
So 2 down and 2 strikes now to Robbie Grossman. On the ground, skipping on one hop to Scope. Going to get a leadoff walk with only 3 men back in a scoreless third. breaking ball gets it. And Messi gets a strikeout. Swung on and missed. Good inning for Irvin Santana. Ball third strike. Got him with a breaking ball. And Irvin Santana hoping to pick up win number 7 here tonight. We are scoreless going to the bottom of the second inning. On the pitching side, he's the biggest reason for the change in the fortunes for the Minnesota Twins. 1-0 to Jonathan Scope. Popped up, it'll reach the seats, and you can point to pitching, you can point to hitting and fielding, and they've all been key factors in this improved record. Give you some idea how improved it is. The Twins right now are 23-18. Last year on June 25th, they were 23-51. They could lose their next 33 games and still have the same record that they had with their 23rd win last year.
Well, if they lose the next 33, not only have I been retired for 2 weeks.
2-1. And now 3-1. Scope, Hardy, and Smith here in the third inning.
The one thing that good baseball teams have in common, and it's been going on since the beginning of the game itself, is they have a starting pitcher that dominates, and true ace. And this guy has been doing it since the middle of June last year, or July. Best pitcher in baseball for the last almost year. And the Twins are lucky that he stayed healthy through it all. I mean, this is a remarkable thing. He is not a big, strong guy. He's very wiry, tall, thin. Can't call him a kid anymore. Tall, thin man.
J.J. Hardy.
I was teasing him. I told you a little bit later, didn't finish it, about the weather. What's up with you and the weather? And he laughed. He says, I don't know, man. I'm not good in this cold stuff. And I said, when's it going to be 75 to 85? No wind, nice sunny day. He says, maybe when we play the Dodgers.
Well, he's run into some very cold weather at Target Field. We haven't had many good days at home, which explains why he's had more success here. Here's a blast to right field. Going back is Kepler at the wall. He makes the catch. Hardy almost went to the opposite field with a deep drive. 1 down on a long fly. Looking for the ultimate Twins experience this summer. The all-new Twins baseball and softball camps presented by select Heartland Chevy dealers are perfect for your kids' summer plans. Camps are for kids age 6 to 14 and feature a current Twins player and coach, a VIP day trip to Target Field, full Twins uniform, skills competition, and more. To learn more and register, visit twinsbaseball.com/training. Here is Seth Smith. Hit a fly ball to Buxton his first time up. And Santana floats one over, strike 1.
For all you viewers that are home and a little bit bored, wondering what we can do while we're watching the baseball game, say this guy's name fast 5 times.
I can't do it. I have to pause between his first and last name.
It's a tongue twister.
Well, it's 4 letters in the first name, 5 letters in the second, common first and last name, but you put them together and it's
there's a lot
Seth
of there's
Smith.
a lot of in there.
1 strike to Mr. Smith. As good as he's been, Irvin Santana has only gotten 2 ground ball double plays so far this year in 9 prior starts.
Well, that's because he's been so good. He hasn't needed a lot of double plays.
There's hardly anybody on base was one of the reasons, but
pitcher's best friend, and he could use one right here. 1 out, runner on first.
He has not had a start this year where he's failed to go 6 innings.
And that's the definition of an ace, a guy that can give you the innings, keep you in the game all the time. Obviously, Dylan Bundy is pitching a very good game himself. He's been on kind of a roll. We're going to see a different type of ball game than we saw last night. But that's baseball, and now they're going to have to be on their toes. They're going to have to capitalize on every little situation that could produce a run. Play good, solid defense.
Fouled away. We were in Cleveland and Santana was pitching. I threw out a stat that I'm not campaigning for. I just think it would be interesting to follow. And in Santana's case, complements his ability to get some extra outs. You get a point for every out you record after the 6th inning. And for every time you start and you fail to go 6, you lose an according number of points. 1 and 2 to Smith. Whoa, a little bit low, I guess. 2 and 2. Anyway, and I'll ask you what you think of the stat in a second, but that pitch was right there.
Yeah, Jason Castro's supposed to be good at framing, but his glove dipped a little bit at the end. You know, and I want to bring up that whole subject too at some point tonight.
What, framing pitches?
Framing pitches.
Yeah. Now 3 and
I
2.
guess I can do it shortly here. Joe Brinkman, who ran a umpire school, one of the oldest veterans in our generation, was asked about this whole concept of framing pitches and do catchers help you as an umpire. He says that's just a crock of doo-doo. He said we as umpires will see the ball 3 to 4 feet in front of the home plate, and as it's coming in already make up our mind. We're not watching where the catcher catches it.
Nice play by Mauer, a backhander on the second out with the runner going. Scope will advance to second.
Getting the out right there. Joe doing such a good job of fielding his position.
And now Adam Jones will hit with a man aboard.
First time that the Orioles have had a runner in scoring position.
So Joe Brinkman said, well, no, the umpire's made up his mind before the catcher even receives the ball.
Right. And if you shut your eyes and imagine yourself as an umpire, you are not worried about how deep that ball gets and what a catcher does with it. You're really seeing the home plate and the guys swing out there in a different plane. So I don't tend to agree with Joe very often, but I agree with that one.
Jones has been really good with men in scoring position for this year for the Orioles, and Santana delivers low, ball 1.
Now I'm going to play the devil's advocate and say, as a pitcher, I witnessed guys who were able to use their hand and manipulate a ball that was on a corner to make it appear that they weren't reaching off the plate to get it. So I truly understand that there is an art to it, and I believe that in some cases umpires may be persuaded to call a pitch that might be a borderline pitch.
1-1. Greg Gibson trying to call a true strike zone. Looks like he and Castro might be engaged in a little discussion. The count is 1-1.
I think they want the fastball in.
Santana just locked in on Scope, and he won't even look toward home plate.
I think what Irvin was waiting for was either Polanco or Dozier to maybe break and get Scope to move back, and then he was going to deliver. And when it didn't happen, it was just
a staring contest.
It really is. I mean, it's like, okay, the hitter's getting nervous, but which one of us is going to go first? And Irvin finally stepped off.
Orioles as a team really good, hitting over 300 with men in scoring position. Jones has been their best, and now that kicks away from Castro, and Scope will move up another base on a wild pitch.
It's awful hard for a guy as big as Castro. He's setting up outside. He did not get down on that ball. He kind of played that a little bit lazily, and the ball ricochets off his shin guard. It's hard for a guy to get his knees down, put that chest out over the baseball, and then let it kind of suck into your body so that you can keep that ball in front of you. But 90 feet is what Scope gets, and now he's only 90 feet away.
2-1 to Adam Jones. And a bunt up the line, and it will roll foul. Adam Jones trying to take the Twins and everybody here at Camden Yards by surprise, and it nearly worked.
Well, Sano is playing back, and that's where they want him positioned. Jones has got a lot of strength and power and can drive the ball down the line, so it's always the elements of surprise. If he gets that ball down, Scope's on his way home. He scores before it even touches Sano's glove.
See, the grass is cut right up to the baseline here at Camden Yards, which encourages bunting.
And you know, there's another thing. Why isn't baseball the same everywhere? Dimensions, the outfield, the way the grass is cut. You mentioned a good point here. The grass right up to the chalk line.
And a fly to left. And Grossman over. Squeezes it to end the inning. 3 one-hit innings for Santana, and you're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm. Catch by a twin center fielder. Kirby's catch, Game 6 of the '91 World Series. Byron Buxton's memorable Mother's Day catch, where I thought it was memorable because he knew he was going to get smoked by the wall. Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds in the 2002 All-Star Game at Miller Park. But Ben Revere's over-the-shoulder acrobatic catch at Target Field. That was the play of the year in Major League Baseball that particular year. You can vote on our Fox Sports North Facebook page. You can also send us your photos impersonating these catches using hashtag TwinsDP. Strike one to Joe Mauer. He struck out his first time up.
Do I get a vote?
Yes.
Well, is it really going to be that surprising for you?
Ben Revere, right?
I'm going to go with the most significant.
There's a drive to left, and Mancini hardly has to move. 1 away.
Well, Joe hit it hard. My vote is my old buddy Kirby Puckett. Without that catch, there's maybe a chance I don't pitch Game 7, and I don't have bragging rights for the rest of my life. So
I will say this: had Buxton made that catch last night, that would have been maybe the greatest catch I've ever seen. That was such a great athletic effort to get to the ball, and then a full-length dive. And as we said last night, he didn't make the catch. He ended up, you know, rolling up against the wall like a hockey player sliding into the boards. I mean, that's how all-out effort it was.
Yeah, he just totally ran a ball down. And there's no question, you know, all those plays, folks. I tip my hat to them all. The center fielders and what they can do, it's magic. And those are reasons it's worthy to come to the ballpark sometimes, is to see those fabulous plays. The Minnesota Twins certainly have a lot of young players that on their own make it worthy of a ticket to come out and watch, because you never know what's going to happen.
Executive VP of Baseball Operations Dan Duquette and I were chatting around the batting cage this afternoon. He just remarked how he couldn't believe Buxton laid out for that ball, the effort he put forth in almost making that catch.
Yeah, and Twins fans are starting to get used to it. It's almost like,
oh, he didn't catch that one. 1-2 to Sano. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out, 2 away.
Well, Bundy must have, and by that swing I say this, he must have a little bit of that sneaky, gets closer to you than you thought. Now let's watch what Buxton did last night. And really, it's almost better to play that at full speed because of how far he ran. But I mean, that's total extension, and then look out, you're just checked into the boards.
2 down, and now Kepler. Here it is in real time. Mancini hits the ball. Watch the break. Immediate. The speed.
Look at how far he has to go.
Kepler drives it to the gap in left center field. And it hits high off the wall. He's got 2, and he will hold up there. Another bullet off the bat of Max Kepler.
You know, we were talking already today and last night, this morning, about exit velocity from Miguel Sano, but this guy here, I mean, it's close. He's just crushing baseballs right now, especially the ball away. We saw him do that last night in a couple of his at-bats with the ball that was out over the outside corner but up. And I think Max knows that a lot of teams are going to start pitching him away. He loves the ball in.
Here is Vargas. Dropped a double down the left field line his first time up, and he takes up high. You saw a fox track. It was presented by Jeep.
Here's the point of contact for that pitch. You can see full extension. The ball's on the outer half of the, right on the corner of the outside strike zone, and belt high.
Vargas takes outside, 2-0. The Twins are averaging 4.7 runs per game. That's tied for 4th in the American League, behind New York, Houston, and Detroit. But it is climbing. The run per game average is a high fly to right into the clouds. Smith waiting for it to come down. A very high deep fly ball to end the top of the 4th. Here's our Get Caught Up section, brought to you by Toyota in a scoreless game. Take it away, Jack Morris.
Well, it's been a pitcher's duel, and we anticipated this with Dylan Bundy pitching so well for Baltimore, especially here at home, and Irvin Santana pitching so well on the road. And both guys have showed dominance. 2 hits for the Twins, just 1 hit now so far for the Orioles.
Manny Machado will lead things off. Big, funny-looking swing. And we've seen a lot of that when Santana's on the mound, with his ability to change speeds. 1 strike. Now rolled to Mauer, backhanding it again. And he flips to Santana, 1 away. Joe Mauer's going to get some Gold Glove consideration. That wasn't that tough of a play. The backhanded play he made last inning was tougher, but he's been flawless.
He really has been good, and Joe takes a lot of heat in the Twin Cities for a lot of reasons, but you've got to acknowledge what a great job he's done at first base defensively this year. Not only just fielding his own position, but being able with his soft hands to catch a lot of balls that could create errors for his teammates on the other side of the diamond.
1 down. Here's Trumbo, struck out swinging his first time up. Santana's gotten 10 outs with 47 pitches. This ball down and away. Trumbo was out there and finally, as a free agent, re-signed with the Orioles.
Well, he's a guy with a lot of power. He's a home run hitter.
If you were a right-handed power hitter, this would have to be at the very top of your list.
It's got to be one of them. Yeah, here and maybe Cincinnati. A couple small ballparks that certainly all parts of the park are reachable for a strong guy.
We've seen Santana fall behind a lot of counts here. He's issued just 1 walk, but now a 3-0 count to Trumbo.
Well, they walked the leadoff man, Jonathan Scope, to start the 3rd inning.
And now he misses.
Win it again. Oh, excuse me, there is 1 out.
1 out. Twins fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball with you wherever you go. Man aboard, 1 down for Chris Davis. Davis was out there as a free agent this offseason and ended up re-signing with Baltimore. Big swing and a foul. Orioles in 2nd place in the American League East by a 1.5 because of the Twins win last night. Twins leading the Indians by a game and a couple of percentage points. To center, and Buxton has to hustle in. Makes the catch.
You know,
waist high.
Again, we've got these new graphics that show route efficiency and total distance covered. Byron Buxton just had a sprint about 90 yards. Look where he is right here, way out in center field, and he has to run a good 90 yards to get this ball. It's hung up. He reacts with a step back first, and then it's a total sprint all the way. Now, again, I want to try to encourage people, try this at home. Run out in the backyard as fast as you can and keep your eyes still on something that's your head's bobbing. You know, that's not an easy thing to do.
2 down, and now Wellington Castillo singled his last time up. And swing, strike 1. Again, one of those awkward swings where either the location, the speed of the pitch, or both aren't what the hitter expected.
I call them emergency hacks. they're committed already, and then it's like, oh, that wasn't it.
And now 0-2. I've got a splitting ball, and sometimes I'll split firewood with a 14-pound splitting ball. And some of the swings we see with Santana on the mound are like me trying to split firewood.
I hope you make contact.
Yeah,
that's not a good thing to mess with.
Half swing, and home plate umpire Greg Gibson will make the call himself. Now, Castillo doesn't think he went. I don't know why Gibson wouldn't go ahead and appeal. I'm not sure he went even looking at replay.
Of the 5th inning. Last night it was a huge night offensively for most of this Twins roster, but one of the most impressive nights came off the bat of Jorge Polanco. Career high 4 hits from the shortstop. And Paul Molitor said earlier today that he's been flying under the radar, but hitting coach James Rowson took it a step further and said that's what actually makes him a dangerous hitter. And you wouldn't always associate that word with Jorge Polanco, but because teams take a lot of time to prepare for Miguel Sano or Joe Mauer, they aren't spending a lot of time preparing for Jorge Polanco, and they should be. And since they aren't, he's making teams pay. So maybe, yes, a lot of guys or people were talking about Miguel's night or Joe's night last night. James Rowson's okay with that because that gives him more opportunity to maybe forget about Jorge Polanco, and maybe he can put together a couple more nights like the one we saw last night. Guys?
I think Audrey, he's been really a solid player for the Twins, and maybe not spectacular. What we're seeing now, his splits as a split hitter are spreading a little bit. He's hitting over 300 left-handed and just over 200 from the other side. 2-0. And taking another close pitch for ball 3.
Well, you know, he's the kind of guy that possibly the way he approaches the baseball, how he takes deep counts, he doesn't strike out. He might be a candidate at some point to be a leadoff guy.
Taking ball 4. He's taken 2 walks tonight on a total of 9 pitches. And Castro will come up with a man aboard.
Well, Twins get a leadoff man on. They haven't had a lot of opportunities. Dylan Bundy's been very good, as has Irvin Santana. 3rd walk for Bundy.
Castro hit a ground ball to first, his first time up. Polanco can steal a base. He's stolen 2 out of 3 tries. Castro takes strike 1.
Last night with nobody on base, Buck Showalter had the shift on for Castro, where J.J. Hardy was playing over there with Jonathan Scoop on the right side of the field. Manny Machado the only defender on the left side, but with a runner on, they've got to play more conventional.
Taken low, 1-1. Can I get back to the stat that I don't know if I created it or not, but you know, you get a point for every out you get after the 6th inning. And if you only go 5, that's -3. And then you, as the season progresses, you get some idea how much of a workload somebody has. Now, I knew you were going to chuckle, and when I bring it up with Bert in a week or so, he'll chuckle too, or sneer, or do something, because you guys, if anything, it would give more credence to your great career, because you would be heavily in the plus. Okay. But hey, the game has changed.
If they come up with a quality start, I mean, in my opinion, you can come up with any stat.
But what made me think about it is when Barrios not only went 6 when they were hoping he would go 6, but he went 7 2/3, and those extra 5 outs very important for what transpired in the week behind. For instance, Santana now coming into the game today, he's a +21 because he's gotten 21 outs after the 6th inning.
I'm not going to disagree with that, and you know, I'll just try to put it in a different perspective. What Santana did his last time, when he didn't have his best stuff, to go in a doubleheader, first game of a doubleheader, and go 7 innings, even though he wasn't at his best, rested that bullpen, and it might have saved a week because the trickle-down effect. So yeah, there's some merit to it.
He got 3 points for that.
You ask it. Well, I don't know about your point system. We might have to.
It's like in hockey, plus minus.
2-1
to Castro. There goes Polanco, and the pitch bounced through the hole. Polanco around second on his way to 3rd. And Castro gets a base hit with Polanco aboard, and now 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Well, there was a hole created there to the right of Chris Davis. Jonathan Scoop was going to play up the middle, and you see the ball tailing out away, and yet Jason Castro was able to hook it by a diving Chris Davis. Polanco for sure is going to be on 3rd base, and the Twins got something cooking now.
Buxton at the plate, 1st and 3rd. Buxton walked on 5 pitches, his first time up. Bundy in my category or stat, he's +11. That's of some value to the Orioles this year. So See if the Twins can put together a big inning here, maybe knock him out early.
You know, I think the dilemma that you're in here, Dick, is you're going to have to go. You're going to have to go with some stat guy. You're going to have to team up, and not, you know, you're going to have to remain anonymous. They'll get the credit for it. I don't know if there's any money involved in that. Just a bit high. The ball's kind of squirting out of his hand there.
One and 0 to Buxton. Swing and a miss.
This is a really important at bat for Byron Buxton. It's an at bat where he's got to take those baby steps of learning and realize, okay, I can't. Well, I mean, he can with one swing. He can change the dynamics of this game, but his job is to move the runner and try. Look at the hole that's between first and second right now. He's got a huge hole there. That's the way he wants to go. He wants to shoot the ball to the right side.
And he rolls it through the hole. Buxton pulls a base hit to get the Twins on the board.
He put the ball in play, and that's probably the most important thing overall for Byron Buxton. And he was able to pull it between Machado and J.J. Hardy. First pitch, a little high. Second pitch, a good breaking ball, and then he leaves one up a little bit higher. Byron reaches out, pulls that ball.
But see the pitch,
Infield's
and we've seen it. You know, he's still in pull mode. That pitch was away from him, but it was an off-speed pitch, and he was able to hook it. First and second, nobody out, and now Dozier.
The one thing with Byron Buxton, if he puts the ball on the ground, he's going to create some kind of panic. He is so fast, and it always gives him an opportunity, and that's something I hope the light will go on, and he'll realize that.
Here's Dozier in a key spot. First and second, nobody out. Down and away, ball one.
Now here's another guy that needs to recognize what's at stake here. Dozier has so many times tried to lift and separate on this situation, and he's really struggled with men in scoring position, and yet there's been progress made in the last few games about him shooting the ball to right. He's got a lot of the right side available if he can just go that way.
Takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Checked his swing and took an off-speed pitch for strike 2. So 4 hits to the opposite field, 21 to center. That part's good. It was about this time last year where Brian started to get into that home run.
Yeah, everything started changing. Brian was at a point where they were actually considering about Rochester for him last year, and Paul talked the front office out of that, and that was probably the right thing. And then Brian went off and just started hitting home runs, crazy numbers.
Backhanded by Castillo, 2-2.
But what we've witnessed the last few games is something that I guess it's one of the things that I have tough time with, because I know it's within him to go the other way. We know he can do it, and I just hope that the reward for him is big enough that he sees it, because I know how much home runs mean to him, and certainly they are game changers, no question about it. Nobody's going to argue, hey Brian, don't hit a home run, go to right with a single. If you can hit it out there, go for it. But there's situations that call for a base hit to right. This is one of them.
2-2. And now 3-2 with Grossman on deck. Well, you played with one of the best in my memory in that regard. That was Alan Trammell. Trammell to me was one of the most professional hitters I ever saw, because he just simply seemed to always hit the ball where it was pitched.
You know, and Tram had several years where he had 20+ home runs. So, you know, hitting coaches always talk about hit it up the middle, go the other way, and then react to the ball inside. And you're just going to, by just normal reaction, be able to pull the ball once in a while and really drive it. And Tram was one of those guys.
Swing and a miss, and Dozier strikes out, one away. Second strikeout of the day for Dozier. You can follow Twins baseball live with the MLB.com @BAT mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @BAT today, your #1 app for live baseball. Robbie Grossman with a couple of ground balls to second. In addition to everything else, he's been one of the clutchest hitters, if that is even a word, over the last week or so. And he asks for time. And of course, Grossman's game is taking pitches, working the count, and that's what we expect he'll do here with Bundy.
And yet there are times where he'll jump all over that first pitch if it's where he's looking.
Taps it foul, 1 strike.
Very good on base percentage. It's the kind of guy you want at the plate right now. Puts the ball in play. He'll work the count. Twins with a real good opportunity to add on here.
Speed at first. Double likely would score 2. And lifted foul, now 0-2.
Well, it's one of my favorite things in baseball is watching a fleet-footed runner go from first to home. And he's going to be right on the tail of Jason Castro if there is a double.
They're the on-base leaders in the league. Kepler are among Twins. Sano is second. Grossman is third. Mike Trout, of course, is first.
We got Mike Trout?
No, he's not on the Twins list.
I have to share. My son might be home listening. My son Miles Morris, seems like every week he asks me, Dad, Twins get Mike Trout yet?
Two strikes to Grossman, trying to deliver a big hit here with the Twins already up 1-0. Popped up. Machado will chase it. It's down the line, and Machado doesn't make the play. He got there and tried for the basket catch. New life for Grossman.
Well, the style points might have got him there. And I can tell you one thing, Buck Showalter doesn't miss this at all. He could have got his glove up there and caught that ball on top, but he tries to do the style point basket catch and gives Robbie Grossman another chance.
No error on the play, but a reprieve for Grossman and another chance to deliver that big hit here in the 5th inning. Bundy toiling here after his leadoff walk in the 5th. And time called.
Now, first inning, the Twins are making Bundy work a little bit. See his pitch count at 72.
Inside, 1-2.
See his pitch count by inning. Only the 2nd inning did he have 20, and 21 already here in the 5th. Pretty good 3rd inning.
Ripped to center field, and Jones plays it on a hop, and they will get a forced play at second. Even the speedy Buxton couldn't get there in time, unable to break, not knowing whether Jones was going to make the catch or not. A tough break for Grossman, who hit it on a line.
Well, Adam Jones created that opportunity for the Orioles to get an out. He broke initially like he was going to get this ball in the air. You can see how he reacts and goes right to the baseball, and then he short hops it. Buxton's got to hold up, thinking that he's going to catch that ball. So he's not doing the wrong thing. You can see he's halfway. That's where they teach him to be. And then the strong throwing arm of Adam Jones, there's nothing he can do about that.
I think you could see Byron retreated maybe 1 step or 2 because it looked like the ball was going to carry out to Jones. 1st and 3rd, 2 down, and now Mauer lined out to left his last time up. Went down swinging in the 1st. Floats over for a strike. Time now for the BMW Mini Countryman Player Profile. Looking at the 10-game hitting streak for Joe Mauer. Mentioned the month of May, he's hitting .345, and it's been a really good streak for a really good hitter. 1 strike. And now inside.
I think Joe's probably one of the few guys in baseball in today's game that are really comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. And he's not afraid to make that pitcher throw 3-4 pitches before he even lifts the bat off his shoulder.
It's to the left field corner foul. I asked Paul Molitor that today, whether this patience that we've seen up and down the lineup could in some way be attributed to Mauer at bat after at bat, game after game, just giving the Twins a competitive at bat, making the pitcher at least work to get him out. I said, well, you know, guys are who they are. Grossman was kind of that guy even before the Twins got him. And he says you hope that the younger players watch Joe and how he approaches every at bat. 1 and 2. Got it inside. Swing and a miss. Bundy struck him out twice, and the Twins will settle for the 1 in the 5th. A look at our Pepsi fans of the game. In a steady rain, they've seen the Twins take a lead here 1-0. And the grounds crew treating the mound in the home plate area, with the rain intensifying just a little bit here. And again, you can vote on your favorite catch by a Twins center fielder. Kirby Puckett's great catch that saved Game 6 in the 1991 World Series off the bat of Ron Gant. Byron Buxton made a great catch. Said he told his mom in the morning, "Happy Mother's Day, I'm going to make a catch for you," and he did. In the All-Star game in 2002 at Miller Park, Barry Bonds thought he hit one out. Ichiro Suzuki thought he hit one out. And it was a big catch for Torrey Hunter, and then Ben Revere's over-the-shoulder catch at Target Field. You can vote on the Fox Sports North Facebook page. You can also send us your photos impersonating these catches using #TwinsDP.
You know, after further review,
yes,
I've got to eliminate Ben Revere's catch. Tremendous catch, but route efficiency about a -4.
Trey Mancini, the batter. Twins up 1-0, and the rain's coming down harder. And Santana's only given up 1 hit so far. Bounced a 3rd foul.
Well, 3 outs, and this is a complete game. I don't know if that really means anything anymore, but we're playing baseball, and nothing we're going to do about it. Umpires will have control of it.
complete this inning, it means that we won't have a doubleheader tomorrow or another game on Thursday. Both teams have an off day on Thursday, and that was one of the fears, that we might lose a game here in this series and we would be spending an extra day here in Baltimore. I packed an extra shirt, Jack, just in that instance.
We're staying at a mall, so I'm not really worried. But
okay,
we're not going to do that. We're getting through that.
No extra socks, mind you, but I did pack an extra shirt.
You wear socks?
2-2, and hit to center. And it'll come right to Buxton. One away. Pretty well hit ball. One down. And that'll bring up Jonathan Scope. Scope drew a leadoff walk in the third. Got as far as third base.
Well, Irvin's walked 2 guys in this game. Scope is one of them, along with 3 strikeouts. And just 1 hit into 5 here.
I think we all know that there's more research done and more preparation done to get ready for a ball game in terms of looking at video and tendencies and all that. The ball hit to left, a base hit for Scope, and he's aboard with 1 out. And that'll bring up Hardy. Sunday on Fox, the Monster Energy Cup Series heats up under the lights in Charlotte for the longest race of the season. It's the Coca-Cola 600 at 4:30 Central on Fox. Here in the visiting clubhouse in Baltimore, they've actually got a little work area, table set up for players who want to do some video work, and coaches are there too. And I counted today, Jack, there are 15 laptops or tablets that were on the table that could be used, and I would venture to say about half of those were being used, some by players, some by coaches. Paul Molitor will look at video. Even the managers get involved, but it's so much more detail oriented, the preparation before any particular game, not just the first game of the series. No, we're talking every game.
Every game, yep. No, there's no question the analytics have really changed this game, and for the good in a lot of ways. You know, we talked earlier in the year about the shift, and maybe Joe Mauer, one of those guys that just has not been the recipient of what analytics have done because of the shift. But players, they can learn as much as they want to learn. And, you know, I think it's still a case where once that ball is thrown, you've got to be a baseball player and react and do the proper things. But when you can take something out of the equation where information has helped you, why wouldn't you? And that's why you're seeing everybody paying attention to it.
15 laptops, my goodness. 1-2 to Hardy. 1 down, a man aboard. And a half swing.
That's more than the entire school at Beaumont, isn't it?
Well, I think I know the answer to this. My guess is if that information were available to you, I'm going to pitch my own game. But I think it would be of great help to a catcher who's calling the game.
I would love to have known my pitches. You know, we have this crazy memory in our mind.
Let's see if they can get 2. Hardy doesn't run well. They've got 1, and the throw made Dozier kind of lean off the bag, and they'll only get 1 out. Hardy reaching on a fielder's choice.
Dozier doing a nice job there. I think he might have come down hard on that ankle that's a little sore. He looked like he was limping momentarily, but they at least got the 1 out.
Polanco's flip a little off target and cut him some slack because it's been raining here, and he may have been trying to throw and flip a wet baseball.
See the replay again. See Brian has to go up and get out of the way of Scope.
Yep.
And it's his right ankle again.
Ooh, he almost landed on Scope's foot too. 2 down, runner at first, and that'll bring up Smith. Check swing and a strike.
See if I can fit in my thought process before this next out. I would have loved to have known. A lot of times we think we're throwing a ball in a certain location. In reality, through video, you can realize it wasn't as good as you thought it was, or you missed a little bit differently than what you thought. And video literally will show you that. And I certainly would have been a fan of it.
High fly center field. Buxton has plenty of room out there. 5 shutout innings for Irvin Santana. A 1-0 Twins lead. And Miguel Sano will lead off the 6th.
Of the Twins heading into the 6th inning. Miguel Sano, if he has not already turned enough heads, this will certainly do it. He leads the Twins in just about every offensive category, and there's only one other player in the league that can claim that, and it's Mike Trout. Anytime you're in a category with Mike Trout, it's a very good thing. According to hitting coach James Rowson, the thing that sets Miguel Sano apart is the fact that he always has the advantage at the plate. If a pitcher thinks he's going to get around him by pitching him away, he's wrong. Sano has the advantage because he knows just what it takes to adjust, and he's going to take you to the opposite field more often than not, guys.
Well, thank you, Audra. 1-1 the count to Sano. Kepler and Vargas will follow.
We just hope he can sustain it. That's what this game's all about, is to be able to have consistency over the entire season, not just a couple good weeks or a month.
Take his numbers and multiply them by 4, and it's a monstrous season. 1 and 2. Take the numbers and multiply them by 2, and he's in the All-Star game, and very likely, I would think, in the Home Run Derby. Kepler on deck.
Yeah, and when he gets his swing at those Super Bowls, that will be fun.
Half swing got him. And Sano is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
You know, Bundy's really been sharp tonight. He has not given in. He's been able to command both his fastball and his breaking ball. A lot of movement with his fastball. And then in that situation right there with Sano, getting him to chase out of the zone with a good breaking ball.
It's really coming down here, and we've got 1 out in the top of the 6th. Kepler trying to wipe his bat off. Going to an infield pull shift, and the pitch is up and away. Was talking about the rain that was going to fall tonight, and he said, well, this field drains very well. They've got a new field here, new turf, and it looks almost brand new. In fact, there's Dan, and a high strike called, 1-1.
They've just this whole series, the Oriole pitching staff has been pitching Max Kepler away.
Speed pitch for a strike. Check to swing. Strike 3. Kepler's gone. Didn't check in time, and Couple of big strikeouts here in the 6th for Bundy, both of them on check swings.
That's a tough one. You know, in Little League, your bat crosses the plate, but you get it back before the ball crosses the plate.
Yeah.
They don't ever, you know, that's legal. That's okay. It's not a strike. It doesn't work that way in the big leagues.
Vargas the batter. Bloop double and a fly to right.
7th strikeout for Bundy.
That one gets away, up and in, ball 1.
Bundy's season high is 8 in that Kansas City game, but his career high is 9.
That gets by the swipe of Smith or by Davis, and Vargas going to second base, and he's in at second again.
I love it. I love the big man running like that.
I imagine he'll get a double, a wicked smash on one hop, and Davis took a swipe at it, but it's a double.
Well, a breaking ball. Kenny Vargas loves the ball down in the zone, and he stays on there, keeps his shoulder in. It gets by Davis. Not a whole lot. It kind of handcuffed him. And then again, Kenny Vargas, he sees it all right in front of him, so he's thinking second base as he makes the turn and digs in. He's moving pretty darn good.
Vargas hitting well over 300 as a left-handed batter, and now Polanco will try to follow his 2-out hit with one of his own. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Bundy, the 4th overall pick in the draft back in 2011. Gave the Orioles 10 wins in just over 100 innings last year. Polanco swings and fouls 0-2.
Again, Bundy working ahead in the count. 91st pitch, so it may be his last inning, especially with this rain coming down.
He has walked Polanco twice, and now he's ahead of him 0-2.
There is no activity in the Oriole bullpen, so Buck's probably going to stay with him a little longer.
Popped up. Machado will chase this one. Mancini charging. And Mancini makes the catch. Vargas left the board. Twins leading 1-0, and you're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm.
Hey, the Twins fans, don't forget at Twins home games, bring your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery's Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Twins pounding out 21 hits in the ball game last night. Irvin Santana's got 1 run to work with here. And you'll face Adam Jones, Manny Machado, Mark Trumbo. And Santana's given up 2 walks and 2 hits. Jones 0 for 2, a bouncer to short and a fly to left. Strike 1. Drilled to left. Grossman there to catch it. And the few well-hit balls that have been struck against Santana have been lined to outfielders. 1 down. Buxton caught a line drive leading off the 5th off the bat of Mancini.
Yeah, you need a break once in a while too, and as good as Santana has been, Monday just the 1 inning where the Twins worked him for the 1 run. So this has really been a good pitching performance by both sides.
There's Manny Machado, 2 ground balls so far for the Oriole third baseman. Up and away with a fastball. On the ground again. Polanco digs it out. 2 down. And that'll bring up Mark Trumbo.
There was just a, what we used to call, we can't call it anymore, routine, because there is no such thing as routine. But if there was, that's about as routine as ever. But Polanco just did not panic. He knew exactly where the ball was relative to where the runner was going down the line. Took his time, planted his feet, knows that the ball is going to be a little wet, makes a good solid throw to first.
Strike at the knees. Polanco's been just about an everyday shortstop. He's missed 5 games. He's committed 2 errors. And we're a 4th of the way through the season.
It's been a problem for the Twins for several years, but Polanco has done remarkable.
Fly to right field.
What a good inning that is.
A 1-2-3 inning and a quick one at that. It's 1-0 Twins after 6. Casino story of the game, not the slugfest we had last night, but the Twins are leading.
Ervin Santana been very, very sharp. 6 innings of work, only 2 hits allowed. And Dylan Bundy giving up 5 hits. Twins did get 1 run, and guess what, Dick? It was scored on a leadoff walk.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Leadoff walk, and then the Twins a little hit and run. Got runners at first and third. Buxton pulled the ball through the hole for an RBI single, and that's where we're at with Jason Castro ready to lead off the Twins 7th. Castro hit the hit and run single to right field, and now he pops one up down the left field line, and there will be no play. It's back in the on the warning track.
The one thing both starting pitchers tonight have done a good job is their fastball inside is getting in. Hitters are not being able to extend their arms enough to barrel up the baseball and even pull it foul with authority. And they're flaring everything the other way. A couple broken bats in this game.
Now on a pull shift in the infield to Castro. And they take strike 2. Castro, Buxton, and Dozier.
Castillo setting up inside there, and Bundy having that ball start away and run back in, catching the corner. You can see now why this kid has had such a good start to his year. Very good command and good enough stuff. And a fastball in.
Off the plate.
Not afraid to miss off the plate. And that's even though that was a ball, it's got a good purpose. You see a couple baseballs thrown on the inner half, and you have to move your feet a little like Castro just did there. That'll open up that outside corner when you need to go out there again. Steele's wanting the ball in, and now it's the breaking ball.
1-2-2. You see the stuff, and you understand why the Orioles were committed to keeping Bundy when he was out of options and risk losing him, even though in the 4 prior years, excuse me, the 3 prior years, because of injury, he had only pitched 63 innings, and all of that in the minor leagues.
And like you mentioned, he was a former #1 draft choice out of Oklahoma.
Castro with another foul.
And you know, say what you want, but when guys in today's game are chosen #1, teams have an investment in them, and they're a little slower to give up on those guys than they are a number 44 round draft choice.
2-2 to Castro. Pulled foul between Jeff Smith and the line.
Jason had a nice swing. That ball was left up and out over the plate, and that's the danger. You're able to pitch the ball in like he had been to set it up, and then you just don't want to hang one.
That's to left center field gap. Running over is Mancini. He gets there right away. Partial season ticket packages are now available in the Delta Sky 360 Club and Catch. You can become a Twins season ticket holder today, and you'll gain access to the Twins Sweet Spot program. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com, or if you'd like, call 800-33-TWINS. One down, now Byron Buxton. He's reached twice, once with a walk, once with an RBI single. Pitches up. We've seen Byron certainly hit better than he did at any time in April, but he's also drawing walks, and just having him on base through walks, hits, errors, half swing, and Gibson said he went 1-1. It is game-changing speed.
No question. When he's on base, he creates havoc. But as you watch Byron in his progression here throughout the year, I'm just going to predict when he has better body control, he's going to have better results. He sometimes gets jumping out when he loads and just commits too early.
Just about every batted ball. Ooh, Mancini had the lunge at the end. Just about every batted ball is to the pull side, including his single in the 5th, 2 down. And that'll get us to Dozier's having a tough night at the plate. 2 strikeouts, and then in the 3rd inning, he tried to bunt on the first pitch he saw and fouled out, with Castillo making a nice catch out of the catcher's box.
And with 2 outs and nobody on base, they've got him shifted around to the pull side.
One strike. And now a ball. Richard Blyer, the only lefty in the Baltimore bullpen in the absence of Zach Britton getting loose. And Dozier drives one to left field. It is lifted and it is gone. A home run for Brian Dozier. And the Twins take a 2-0 lead.
Well, it's a big hit. Brian got the pitch that he's kind of been looking for all night. Fastball in, and he jumped all over that one.
Take a look at it on Fox Tracks, presented by Carrier.
Here's the swing. See how that ball's left right over the heart of the plate, and Brian's pretty good at those. He can really generate some bat speed on the inner half. Ball left up a little bit.
Here is Grossman, 0 for 3. And he takes strike one. Grossman hit a bullet his last time up, landing in front of Jones, but Jones got the first hop, fired to second, and forced Byron Buxton. Now back to the glove of the pitcher, and the inning ends. But Brian Dozier hits his 6th of the year to double the Twins' lead. For the unlimited baseball break, and it is brought to you by T-Mobile. Michael Conforto trying to provide a silver lining for what's otherwise a very disappointing season for the Mets. Two-time MVP, and he keeps getting better. How do you do that? 7 home runs in the last 11 games for Mike Trout. And what's going on in Seattle? Mariners having a very disappointing year with all that starting pitching on the disabled list. 2-0 here. Chris Davis will lead off the Baltimore 7. Skied, short left. Robbie Grossman blinking the eye. Sun. Actually, that's Eddie Rosario out there blinking the raindrops away. 1 down.
That's efficiency right there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
So 1 away quickly here in the 7th. And now Wellington Castillo. 2 singles. They were both clean hits, and a couple of walks, and that's been it for Santana, who, rain aside, seems to enjoy pitching in warmer weather. And we've got, I don't know, what is it, 64 degrees, whatever it is now, something like that. Up and away, ball 1. You grew up in this stuff. Did you like pitching in cold weather?
I did when I was young, because I knew the psychological advantage I had over hitters. Hitters hated it.
You know, get jammed in there.
And I was just one of those crazy guys that just loved to see guys, you know, shaking their hands and break bats. It was the best. But, you know, when I got older, it was harder to get loose and stay loose. So, you know, baseball wasn't designed for cold weather.
It's not going to get any warmer when we start the regular season next year in March.
Yeah, really.
2-1 to Wellington Castillo. We'll be starting the season earlier next year, because next year there will be 4 more off days during the season. Half swing, and another one of those Should I or shouldn't I swing? And then it's past you. 2-2.
You see how Castillo gets caught in between. It's the ball off the plate, and he knows it is, but he's kind of committed already before the ball's maybe 20 feet from the catcher's glove. I'm just going to stay out there.
Got him looking. 2 down.
Paint job right there. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority in the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. Let's watch this last pitch. He wants it up and in, and he paints down and away. That's when you're going good. You know, you make a mistake, you don't hit the catcher's glove, and it's still a Picasso.
Fly to right, Kepler under it. 7 pitches and
Beautiful.
a 1, 2, 3, 7. 8 straight retired by Irvin Santana. Half ahead of the Orioles, and the Twins a game up on Cleveland, and the Twins are hoping that Santana can maybe complete a shutout. And you know what we've seen, Jack, not only are the Twins winning more games, but they're winning more
close
ways
games.
in different ways. Here's Richard Blyer finishing his warm-up tosses, but it's one thing to bludgeon somebody like the Twins did last night, but if you can come back the next day and win a 2-0 or 2-1 ball game, well, that's a sign of a good team.
I promise you that if you ask Buck Showalter if he'd be happy with his starter going out there pitching 7 innings, giving up 2 runs, he would say, yeah, I'll take my chances.
After seeing his staff give up 21 hits and 14 runs last night.
But again, Irvin up to the challenge tonight so far, just been dominant.
It'll be Mauer, Sano, and Kepler in the Twins' 8th. Twins getting a run in the 5th, 1 in the 7th, and now looking to add on some runs. Fist bump from Irvin Santana, and we've seen the smirk and the smile, and then he goes back out again. So that he's being congratulated doesn't mean that he's done. There's no activity in the Twins bullpen. He's just got a very easygoing personality, which is probably one of the reasons why he's been as successful as he's been, and why at the back half of his career he's enjoying his greatest success. Mauer slashes one foul. I mean, you tend to, the more you're around, and you're around a long time, you're able to, toward the end of your career, put things in perspective that you weren't able to in your first few years.
Yeah, I think what happens is you realize that you find yourself in the locker room in the 4th inning of games that you just have no business being up there already, and it eats away at you. And as you get older, you realize, how do I stay in this game when I'm getting a little bit of trouble? Irvin's really managed it all well.
Scope scoops. One down. Praise FM invites you to join them at Target Field for Faith Day 2017. You can join us Sunday, May 28th to watch the Twins take on the Rays at 1:10. Then stay for a free post-game program featuring live worship music from Eagle Brook Church and testimonies by Brian Dozier and other Twins players. For details and to purchase tickets for Praise FM's Faith Day, visit twinsbaseball.com/faith. Here is Sano. A quiet night for the big man. 0 for 3. Taken down and in. Fouled away down the right field line. Orioles in contention, playing good baseball, even though Zach Britton is not able to help them on the disabled list. Pulled foul, and now it's 2-2. Excuse me, 1-2.
That's a huge loss. Zach Britton, the best of the best. I mean, I don't think he converted every save opportunity here for quite a while, hasn't he?
Yep. Brad Brock is their closer now. Till further notice. 1-2. Big swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Sano tonight. 2 down. That'll get us to Max Kepler.
You see this kind of a long swing for Miguel. Just tried to lift and separate a little bit too much, and you saw his head pull off a little bit.
Kepler 1 for 3 against the right-hander Bundy. Now trying to have a good at bat here against a lefty. Pulled foul. Kepler, maybe more than any player that we've seen up here with the Twins major league club, seems to have aptitude and the ability to process what he's being coached on and take it into a game. And maybe that shouldn't be surprising, because that's the foundation of his career.
Yeah.
You know, baseball, he was taught baseball.
Right. He didn't grow up playing baseball. He was a tennis player and played a lot of other sports. And, you know, I think it's a strong case for drafting an athlete. And
swing and a miss. That's strike 3.
He's going to make it.
Can't find it. Kepler will reach on a strikeout. And Kepler aware that the ball got away from the catcher, and by the time Castillo found it, Kepler was almost all the way to first.
We'll see how this ball gets away to the left to Castillo, but he thinks it's right underneath him, and Max is off running already.
You know,
Where is it? Where is it?
He didn't look. I'm guessing either Vargas or somebody in the dugout told him to just go. He didn't bother looking. He was told, take off. Here's Vargas. Couple of doubles as a left-handed batter. And a strike. Vargas hitting just .091, 2 singles in 22 at bats. And if they can get his right-handed bat going, this lineup is going to be very, very good. And they've got Kepler picked off, and he's out. Close play. Kepler's speed almost got him second base, but he took off on first movement, and that ends the 8th inning.
And then we're going to watch the tag one more time. Yep, he got him before Max got his feet to the bag.
Bottom of the 8th in a 2-0 game. Ervin Santana's on the mound. Thank you. It has been a great night for Santana. He's throwing pitches in the 8th inning. Scope leading off, taking strike 1.
Well, look at the pitch count as he throws the first guy in the 8th and throws 2 pitches to him. He's had a pair of 6 pitch innings. He threw 7 pitches last inning, so very, very efficient. It's everything you want out of your starter.
Running the ball up and in early in the ball game to Trumbo to strike him out. He's retired 9 men in a row late in the game here, and he'll face J.J. Hardy. The only time Santana has gotten an out in the 8th inning, he's gotten all 27 outs. His 9-inning shutout against the White Sox. 1-0. Hardy reaching a fielder's choice his last time up.
Only allowed the 2 hits so far, and it's just fun to watch Herb when he's doing this because of his ability, and it's not a really definable thing, but his ability to have a feel out there and knowing how hard to throw and what part of the plate.
It's to third, foul.
And I'm going to add something here because we all do it as pitchers. We make mistakes, but when Irvin's pitching well, it seems like his mistakes still get good results, and that's part of it.
1-2 to the number 9 batter. 2-2. Just outside full count. Seth Smith on deck. Two walks, but none since the 4th inning. Fouled straight back.
And let me just add one more thing. There's something that's not going on right now that is an indication of the belief of his manager and pitching coach. There's no activity. It's a 2-run game. You walk one guy or give up 1 hit and the tying run comes to the plate, and yet that's the confidence that Paul Molitor and Neil Allen have in Irvin Santana.
Popped up behind the mound. Dozier slams on the brakes, and Polanco has to put on a little burst of speed to get there 2 down. And with that out, for whatever it's worth, and it's not worth much, but Irvin Santana is your American League earned run average leader. He's just whittled his ERA down below Keichel's, which stood at 1.84.
And pitch count by inning, pretty impressive. Like I said, a pair of 6 pitch innings. The 7th, he pitched only 7 pitches. Total of 9 pitches so far here in the 8th inning with 1 out to go.
Smith will bat. Strike. When he pitched his shutout against the White Sox at home, he threw 107 pitches. Fouled away. 2 strikes. Now, the Twins have an off day on Thursday, but given the status of the rotation, and I use that term loosely, it's been anything but. It's just by name only, the pitching sequence of starters, but that might be compressed so the Twins can bring Santana back on 4 days rest. 0-2 to Seth Smith. Got him. 8 shutout innings for Irvin Santana.
He gets better as the game goes along.
inning of Game 7. No, I'm good. I'm good. Good. Okay, it's your game. Kenny Vargas at the plate to start the 9th inning. And it sure looks like Ervin Santana will get a chance to complete his 2nd shutout of the year.
Good for him. I hope he gets the chance. He's been totally dominant, getting better as the game progresses. No activity in the Twins bullpen. I think it's Darren O'Day throwing now down in the Oriole bullpen.
Vargas with a pair of doubles. He was at the plate when Kepler got picked off. Swing and miss. 1-1. On my plus minus stat I was giving you before, my hoped for stat, Santana would already be a +6. Looks like he's going to have a chance to be a +9 today only. And in your 1986 season, you made 35 starts. You pitched 267 innings. And you were that year alone +171.
Well, I think I gave our stats guy the wrong year, because I had one year where I threw 194 innings, but that's chump change.
294.
294, yeah. Chump change compared to Mickey Lolich, who you better read off those numbers too.
Tarp's on the bullpen mound. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be moving it anytime soon. 2-2 to Vargas. Toward the hole, cut off by Hardy. And over the Davis. Down. In 1971, Mickey Lolich made 45 starts. Of course, that was back in the days of a 4-man rotation. He pitched 376 innings. 376 innings pitched. And that year, his plus minus would have been +318. Now that is an innings eater.
That adds a little value to the starting rotation.
Here is Polanco. A couple of walks and a fly to left. Ball 1.
You know, just to add to that, not that a lot of people are overly concerned, but what the heck, we got nothing better to talk about right now. He finished 2nd in the Cy Young that year. Vida Blue.
Oh, sure.
Won the Cy Young.
Throw 370.
I'm going to retire after that. You know.
2-0 to Polanco. Polanco scored the first Twins run after his leadoff walk in the 5th. The Twins got a couple of singles, including an RBI single for Buxton. This one skied in the air, right side of the infield. Davis wants it. And he has to make an adjustment too at the end. 2 down. Businesses of all sizes gain an edge by hosting their clients during a Twins game at Target Field. You can take advantage of all that Target Field has to offer, from a private suite to special group seating arrangements. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS and ask about a Twins group outing. Here is Castro. Up the line, foul. I'm sure a lot of fans do, as I do, when you see a pitching change or a pinch hitting appearance or a pinch running appearance, and you think along the lines of, what does the other dugout feel about this? Are they encouraged? Are they discouraged? What are they? Well, the fact that Santana is going to go out in the 9th and they haven't even taken the tarp off the bullpen mound, I would take as discouragement if I was in the Oriole dugout. That means you got to face him, and you got to find a way to beat him rather than a cold reliever coming in.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised that Brandon Kinsler isn't at least getting loose out there, because it's only a 2-run ball game, and Irvin's going to have to navigate through the top of the lineup of Baltimore. 90 some pitches is his pitch count, so he's approaching that magical number. There it is, 95 pitches. But he can go 110, 115, no problem.
On the left, Mancini waits, and it's a 1-2-3 inning on the top, and the Twins will hope to have another 1-2-3 inning from Santana in the bottom of the 9th inning. Santana with a 2-0 lead. He's given up 2 hits. He has 1 shutout already this year. It was a 6-0 whitewashing of the White Sox. And he'll try to have his second shutout of the ball game of the season here tonight. And our State Farm combination, Santana will hand the ball off to Barrios tomorrow, an afternoon game, and he's given the Twins 2 outstanding starts so far.
Yeah, the combination of these 2 guys as of late has been a lot of fun to watch.
Jones, Machado, Trumbo, the meat, heart, soul of the Oriole lineup will await Santana here in the 9th inning. The hits have come from the number 6 batter and the number 8 batter. Down and in, ball 1. His shutout of the White Sox came on April 15th. He gave up just 1 hit that day and walked 1 and struck out 8. Two and 0. Couple of walks, but again none since the 4th inning. Brandon Kinsler now getting loose out in the Twins bullpen, just beginning to get loose. And a strike, 2 and 1. Jones with a ground ball to short, a fly ball to left, and a line drive to left. On the ground, Polanco backhands, plants. Beautiful play in the hole by Jorge Polanco. And I say plants, I picked that word purposely because his right foot was on that wet grass and he was able to dig in and establish his footing for a throw.
Yeah, it's about body control, and this guy is showing not only at the plate but defensively you have to have your body under control. And he's just textbook perfect right there.
1 down, and now Machado. Strike 1. The Orioles for 4 innings in a row were able to get a base runner, but 1 base runner only. Swing and a miss. Machado looked like he wanted to try to tie the game.
Trying to hit a 3-run home run there with nobody on base.
Lunging after that pitch with a swing. Still 0-2. Machado with 3 ground balls, 2 of them to Polanco. Popped up. Castro back. And out of play. Just over the screen. To make any trips to the mound or any of Santana's starts. I wonder how many times he's gone out there in the 10 starts so far. 0-2. Got him. Machado strikes out and he leaves the circle and he is out without drawing a throw. 2 down.
Strikeout number 7 for Irvin tonight, and he just buries his breaking ball, knowing that Machado has been very aggressive at this plate appearance. Just capitalizes on it. That's one on the hitter, just taking his aggression and taking himself out of an at-bat.
2 down. Here's Trumbo, 0 for 2 with a walk. Chopper to short. Polanco again in the hole. Comes up firing, and Irvin Santana has twirled a 2-hit shutout in Baltimore.
Well, he's done it for the 2nd time this year. Just absolutely dominance, big smile, and an important win after a night where the Twins just knocked the ball all over the place. Last night they managed a couple of home runs, one of which was a home run by Brian Dozier. And that guy right there, Irvin Santana, pitches his heart out again tonight, and the Twins win again here in Baltimore.
And this incredible road record keeps improving against a really good ball club. The Orioles had the 3rd best record in the American League. They still do. And they've been very tough to beat at home, and the Twins have already done it twice.
Oh, here's some of the highlights of tonight's game. Irvin ends up with 7 strikeouts, and the ball's kind of moving all over early, but none of it's in the heart of the plate. That's the key to Irvin. He's not leaving anything over the middle for these guys to put a good swing on. And as the game progresses, he realizes these guys are trying to do more than they should at this point. Starts pitching accordingly by keeping the ball off the heart of the plate.